We're ready to go?
Yeah, I mean, she's probably going to interrupt us. But
Yeah, it's okay.
this is the reality of doing this job with a baby.
That's right. Hi guys, we're Lloyd and Mandy. We're digital nomads from Canada and Australia, and we're currently based here in Tulum, Mexico. In today's video, we're counting down 12 things we wish we knew before coming here, so your trip can be the absolute best that it can be.
Lila.
Hi Lila. Oh, and this is Lila. She'll be joining us in and out as well. But before we get started, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of our future travel related videos. Okay, let's get into it.
All right, starting with number 12, which is that most beaches are not free. This was quite surprising to us because like generally in actually pretty much every country, beaches are just free to access. But unfortunately, Tulum does have free beaches, but they're just not well maintained at all. So the beaches that you actually do want to go to, you have to pay an entry fee, and it's generally something like 400 Mexican pesos to go to like Playa Paraíso. And it's also quite an expensive taxi ride to get there. So if you're coming to Tulum thinking you're just going to spend every day at the beach, you may actually want to reconsider.
Okay, so number 11 would be the beach clubs, and this is probably your best bet for actually getting onto the beaches. A lot of them will include the beach access through the beach club. We really loved La Zebra. It was a great place for us to spend time with our little one. Lila loved it. There was a great pool. A lot of the places will have like a minimum spend, so whatever the amount is, that maybe it's 500 pesos or it can even be up to about $100, but that goes towards food and drinks for the day. And then that's also your entry, and then you also get access to the beach. So that's kind of your best way of going about that.
All right, number 10, and this is about beaches again, is that the Sargassum can be a real bummer. I actually didn't even know what Sargassum was until we came to the Quintana Roo area. So like Cancun, Playa del Carmen, and Tulum, all the beaches stretching along the Yucatan Peninsula, they have this seasonal sargassum, which is basically just, I'm not an expert, so I'm probably gonna sound stupid here, but it's just a bunch of seaweed that gets washed up onto shore in certain parts of the year. And I think the worst time for it is actually September, October, which is when we're here now. So if you're coming to Tulum, and you want to spend time at the beach and the public beaches, make sure you do your research and come at the right time. There's actually a bunch of Facebook pages just dedicated to monitoring the sargassum, because believe it or not, it changes from day to day. Like one day the sargassum won't be bad, and then 2 days later it'll be terrible. So just keep an eye out for that.
So number 9 is the Tulum Ruins, which is one of the main attractions here in Tulum. They are absolutely beautiful, definitely something you need to check out. But if you are planning on going, go early in the morning because the crowds get absolutely crazy, and the heat. We went a little bit too late when we went last time, and oh my goodness, was it hot. We didn't last very long there, and the crowds, yeah, it was crazy. So if you're planning on going, go early in the morning and bring lots of water as well.
Yeah, that was actually a shame because I was really interested in them, but just the heat and the amount of people that were there made it. So we only stayed probably like 25 minutes. I probably would have spent a couple of hours there because I'm actually pretty into the historical side of the Mayan culture. And number 8 is the construction noise. It can be really bad actually. Because Tulum is still developing, it feels like there's apartment buildings going up everywhere. More and more people are choosing to invest here or to live here, so there's a lot of building going on. That actually reminds me of another point. I'll leave it till the end though. But so the apartment that we stayed in when we first got here was amazing, and it was really good value, but it was still under construction. Like there was like 3 separate condominium buildings, and the one we were in wasn't even completely finished yet, which we knew there was going to be some construction noise, but after a couple of weeks it started to really mess with our heads a bit.
Yeah,
so
it gets to you.
We decided to move to another place, which is this place, where there's no construction around. So like when we were searching for a new accommodation, that was one of the main things that we looked out for, which was like there was no construction in the area.
And for number 7, so as far as construction goes, there are so many beautiful apartment buildings going up, incredible architecture that's being built, but That being said, pretty doesn't always mean practical. Some of the places that we have stayed in and have seen, they are absolutely beautiful to look at, but not exactly practical to live in or stay in. So just something to keep in mind, something we've kind of ran into. You can have the most beautiful building, but livable wise, not exactly livable. So just something to keep in mind. Pretty doesn't always mean that you want to stay there.
Number 6 is that most practical and I guess normal way of getting around is scooters, ATVs, and beach cruisers. For some reason, they're the only types of bikes I see in Tulum. It's all beach cruisers, even though and that goes back to Mandy's last point about pretty not always being practical. Personally, like I think a beach cruise is the hardest bike to ride around because it has one gear, and I'd be riding like like a mountain bike around or something. But a beach cruiser obviously looks cool, and even the locals ride them around. They're pretty cheap. Not too many expats or tourists really drive around. Most people get around on ATVs, scooters, and beach cruisers. And one of the downsides to that is, I guess, they're actually not that cheap, especially compared to countries in Southeast Asia. Like an ATV is gonna run you 1,000 pesos a day, which is like $50 US. And even a beach cruiser is going to be 200 pesos a day. So it starts adding up if you're staying here for a long time.
Which brings us to our next point. Number 5, Tulum is very spread out. So you do need transport here. We have been walking, like we've had Lila's stroller. We've been doing as much walking as we can. But in the heat, there's only so many hours of the day that you can sort of get from A to B, and with everything being so spread out. So you do need a means of transport. That is one of the downsides for sure.
Yeah, which brings us to number 4, and it's extremely frustrating. And I don't want to be too negative with this, but I just wish we had known this before we came here, is that there's no rideshare apps in Tulum whatsoever. There's no Uber, there's no Grab, there's only taxis, and they run sort of like a mafia system where they set their own rates. They don't put the meter on. They pretty much charge whatever they want to charge because there is no alternative. If you get a taxi from your hotel down to the beach area, it might be 400 pesos, but then when you're in the beach area and you want to get back to your hotel, it could be double because they know that like you got no other way of getting home basically. Unless you want to get on a collectivo, which is what we would suggest if you're single or even just a couple, but when you have a baby and a stroller, a collectivo can be quite difficult.
Number 3 is a big one for us because we are digital nomads, is spotty Wi-Fi. So we've been kind of struggling a little bit with Wi-Fi here and there. That's why we did get our Olafly eSIM, so we can tether, still be able to access our work and use our computers and things. But yeah, Wi-Fi has been in and out, just something to think about because I know there are a lot of people that do come here for remote work. Spotty Wi-Fi can be an issue.
And that brings us to number 2, which is actually relates to spotty Wi-Fi, which is that there are regular power outages in Tulum. I'd read about this before we came, and this happens in other countries, like it happened a lot in Sri Lanka, from time to time in Thailand and Bali. For some reason in Tulum, it's a really regular occurrence. It happened, I think, in the 3 weeks that we were staying in the first apartment we were in. It probably happened 10 times. So that's like every second day we had a power outage. Sometimes it was for an hour or 2, sometimes it was for 10 minutes. And every time it happens, you have no idea how long it's gonna last. So, and our apartment actually ran completely on electricity. So our kitchen, everything in the kitchen was on electricity. Obviously the Wi-Fi was electricity.
Hot
water, like it usually happened at night time as well, around dinner time.
Yeah.
Lila thought it was funny. So our options were, if we wanted to like watch TV, we would tether to our Olafly eSIM, which still worked. And if we wanted dinner, we would generally order Uber Eats, which they do have Uber Eats. or we'd just go out. It happens way more often than I would have thought in Tulum. Okay, so number one, this could be the most important one, at least I think it is be extremely cautious on the ATMs that you use. And also, if you can, use Mexican pesos as much as possible, because the exchange rates that you get in some of the ATMs are absolutely ridiculous. So when you're withdrawing money, if it asks you to convert for you, say continue without conversion, so it stays in pesos, as well as if you're paying for anything, make sure that it stays in pesos because the conversion rate's terrible. Also, only use big bank ATMs. So you'll find these in like shopping malls and the banks that you actually go into. These little ATMs that you see on the side of the street that say US dollar or Mexican peso on them, and they don't have any like branding or anything, they're gonna charge you an absolute shitload. They're gonna completely rip you off, and sometimes you can actually get scammed by them, which did happen to us. Got a full video about that coming out soon. But the way we get around that is we use our Wise travel money card, so there's no extra markups on foreign exchange rates, and there's no extra fees or anything like that. No hidden fees. We have everything available on our Wise app. And the way we avoid getting scammed as well, like somebody hacking into our card, is that we are able to freeze and unfreeze our card at any time.
Okay, and so just one bonus bit of advice or little tidbit that we want to say is that our experience traveling Mexico with and without a baby has been completely different. We have been treated so well with Lila. Like, the Mexican people have been... Yes, they've been so kind to you, haven't they? Just very accommodating with the stroller and just patient with us with having baby, and just really, really kind. So it is a very baby-friendly travel place, I will say that. I know a lot of people can be weary of, you know, just traveling in general with kids, but we've just had a really positive experience traveling with Lila here, and I would recommend it to anybody.
Yeah, we went out to dinner the other night with Lila to like a place that seemed like it wasn't like super family friendly, and I was hesitant to even like ask if we could come in. And as soon as we rocked up with the stroller and Lila in it, and I said, look, is it okay if we bring her in? They were like, yeah, of course it's okay. And they were amazing, and they were like, they even brought her milk and like were looking after her and stuff. They were super, super friendly. So yeah.
Anyway, that's it for today's video. We really hope you found some value in it. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It really helps out our channel. Subscribe to our channel, and as always, we will see you guys in the next video. Bye.